But if you have a great script, you might be lucky, and maybe they might just be so excited with your story that they want to be part of it, and that's possible. I don't want to deal with luck here. I want to deal with practicalities, and the practical thing is you can't afford them. People overlook it a lot, and that's why I'm having to lay very serious emphasis on it. What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. My name is Collins Godwin. I'm a film producer, scriptwriter, and director. Want to be a film producer in Nigeria? Well, me too. Let's find out how.
Scene 1, Apple, take 1.
So you've got the great script. The next thing you need to be looking out for is the A team. Now, I know this is corny, but bear with me. The A team is not a concept I learned from a textbook. It's just the way I see the team you're supposed to have that will be working with you. You don't need a B team, you need an A team. I'm not saying you should go and look for a big name director to come and direct your film. You can't afford them, that's just the truth. But if you have a good script, or if you have a great script, you might be lucky, and maybe they might just be so excited with your story that they want to be part of it, and that's possible. But I don't want to deal with luck here. I want to deal with practicalities, and the practical thing is you can't afford them. So what do, right? Now, two ways. You need to look for another director who has shot something in the angle of what you're trying to create. Maybe you watch a lot of short films online, or go to film festivals, like hang around filmmakers. They always have short films from friends and other filmmakers that they like, or that have made something, maybe like a friend made a short film and stuff. So just look out for those kind of movies, and you would find that there might be a film student director who could be the next Scorsese. So that's part of producing. You're discovering people. So yeah, you do that, and you might actually find a director that maybe shot something that looks like they think like you. So you look for that person, and then you find a way to meet that person, reach an agreement with that person, and then you might actually have a director. But if you cannot afford that person either, if you're working on a zero budget like I did on my first film, the best thing you would do is maybe try to direct by yourself, and this would be where you bank on that experience I talked about. So it's very important that at this point you should already have proper experience. So if you're going in as the personal director of your own film and as the producer, I want to assure you it's hell. It is not safe, it is not easy, it is tedious, and it is very dangerous and risky. And this is why producing deals with business, like you're dealing with business, but directing deals with creativity. Now these two things don't work, and this is why the mindset that these two professions work with are very different. While this one is thinking numbers and money and people and interest and stuff, this person on the other hand is thinking of shots and camera angles and spectacles and like awesome ways to tell a story, angles to shoot something that makes it different and fresh and something like that. And something, this person is thinking colors, this person is thinking how much it will cost to make the colors, this person is thinking bombing an entire house, this other person is thinking how much it costs to bomb an entire house and how important is it to bomb the house, and will people watch the film if there's no house being burnt. So you see, so there are two different departments, and sometimes it is better if you have a director and a producer so that they'll fight it out together, argue it from all their points of view, and then come to a reasonable conclusion. But when you're the only one handling these two offices, suddenly it becomes a little bit tricky to manage the two, because you might end up being too much of a producer and you sabotage the creative angle of your film, and then you might become too much of a director and you end up not finishing your film because you run out of money. So that's another issue too, and because I did it, I'm going to share how I did it. I'm not saying that it's like the foolproof plan that works, but I'm just going to share my own experience with that. So I got out of film school. I had always wanted to be a producer. I never had money to make my own film, so I decided to try it in my own way. When I was starting out, I had to double as a scriptwriter. I had to double as the scriptwriter, director, and producer of Rukaya. And what happened was I had really been writing Rukaya for over a year. So it was kind of like that story that has grown with me, grown with me over time. And I had never been a film producer, but I've directed some short films and I've been part of different projects that I directed. So I I was already building my muscle when it comes to directing, but then I never had any muscle when it comes to producing. I've been a PM a few times, and that's kind of like a little bit of producing, but not like really the producing part of it. So I had to consolidate on all of these things. I had to find a balance for them, and this is what I did. I knew that I didn't know much about film producing, so I looked for someone who knew more about film producing than I did, and put him in the place of a sort of like a line producer or a co-producer. Now, I knew that my muscles in directing is not that great yet. So what I did was I made sure that every single head of department was great, well, at least better than me at their job. So what that means now is, when it comes to the creative angle, I just needed all my crew members, especially the department head, to get a picture of what we are trying to create. The moment everybody was on the same page, they would now advise me on how to accomplish what I want. So I don't have to come up with every single idea on my own. I just need to explain, okay, for this scene, this is the feeling I want, this is the look I want, this is how I want this character to this is the impression I want this character to give, this is what I am looking for from this scene, these are the feeling and the colors and all, and then everybody will just come together, and the cinematographer will tell me all the right angles and all the kind of lighting that we're going to use to get that, and then the sound person will tell me, okay, what sound is required for all of this, and so everybody will just come and tell you what can accomplish the picture you have in your head. So it's very important to communicate that picture properly. Now, for film producing, I needed someone who is very meticulous. I needed a production manager that doesn't play with paperwork. You know, those perfectionists, those kind of people that every single detail of everything, they like to micromanage it. Now, those are the kind of people you need as your production manager or any of those administrative producers.
Sorry, sir, no clue.
Any of those administrative positions. I'm talking line producer or production manager, script coordinator, continuity person, ADs, all the ADs. So you need those kind of people in those departments, and this is because they are going to be dealing with some documentations, and those documentations are very, very important. They may look like they are trivial at the beginning, but then it's when you get to post-production that you now find out that if you had this continuity sheet properly done, it might have made your job faster or easier. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience. Or you find out that there's this piece of paper that was supposed to have been done that made your mathematics, like when you're calculating stuff, when you finally get to that point where you're thinking production cost and all of that, and then you find out that the person who was supposed to do those documentations didn't. I don't know what's wrong with me today. The person who did those documentations didn't. So it suddenly just scatters everything for you. So when I'm talking about the 18, I'm talking about this kind of people. Those kind of people that think like you, that think in your thoughts wave or something. I ever have those kind of friends that the moment you start a thought process, they kind of get where you're going to, and that's because your mindset and their mindset is the same. Now, those are the kind of people you want as your A team members. Now, those people are going to be people that share like similar interest in film. They are the kind of people that mostly would like most of the kind of films you like. The kind of people that see things from the angle you see things. And the moment you have those kind of people, and then they are really good at their specific jobs, then you just find that making a movie with them, it's like going to be the most easiest thing to do. And I'm going to talk about temperamental people and all of that in subsequent episodes, and don't worry, I'm going to get into that. So for now, you want to focus on this. You want to focus on the quality of people you get into your production. But how do you get those people? You get these people from those times you've spent on location. So now you find those kind of people, and you want to have them when you're shooting your first film, because they think like you, the moment you paint a picture for them, they will get it immediately. And the moment they get the picture, if they are like you, they are going to be go-getters also, and then you win. So now there are departments that you cannot afford to be laxative about, and I'm not saying this because I'm a strong believer that every single department in filmmaking is important, including a person that just cleans your shoe in the morning when you're getting up from bed, so long as it's production season. That person is important. You would not know that person is important until they are missing. So every single department is very important, and you should pay complete attention to that. Now, the A team needs to be heads of department. I'm talking head of cinematography, that's your DOP. I'm talking the director if you're not the director. I'm talking about the head of sound department, that's the sound engineer. I'm talking about the head of editing. I'm talking about costume and makeup, production design. Oh my god, you cannot afford to not pay attention to production design. Like, your film dies when production design dies. It may seem like I'm over prioritizing production design, but people overlook it a lot, and that's why I'm having to lay very serious emphasis on it. But then you need to pay attention to all those heads of department, and I'm going to explain over time how you could utilize these heads of department before production, during pre-production. There are different things they could do for you in pre-production that will just make your life easier throughout the production process, and I'll get to that. Comment down below if you have any questions, comments, or contributions. Don't forget to click subscribe and click the notification bell so that you get notified every single time I post something. You can also follow me on Instagram. I'm at Collins Kuzman. So thank you so much for watching. I hope to catch you real soon. Peace.